smite my head, and a year and a day from today, you must come and find me, and I will repay that death blow to you, good Sir Knight. Hey folks, Kilt-Man here, Kilt-Man at your services. That's not actually an axe. That is the very ornate and very savage crest of a halberd, an ancient medieval halberd, which would be a great big long staff, which could be actually quite tall indeed. 8 feet, 10 feet, 12 feet, 16 feet. It's a pretty big guy to hold one of them. And they weren't really used as weapons, they were ceremonial things. You'd march at the head of a procession carrying these. But my God, looks great, doesn't it? Big sharp point there, big sharp point there. Weighs a fucking ton. And the big scimitar like blade, well, that could do some damage too. I've got 2 of these. Anyway, that is often depicted as being a big sort of battle axe, that sort of shape. Axes? Why are we talking about axes? Well, axes figure pretty heavily in Sir Gawain and the Green Knight, an epic tale, an epic poem written by some unknown, uncelebrated Middle English, so that's Middle Ages poet, and it was based on the King Arthur and the Knights of the Round Table scenario. Of course, Thomas Malory had written the Arthurian romances Le Morte d'Arthur, which we all know and revere, and the film John Boorman's Excalibur is born out of that. But one of the most famous and influential stories within the whole pantheon and mythology of King Arthur and the Knights of the Round Table is not actually in Le Morte d'Arthur at all. It's from this other poem which was written in the Middle Ages, and there's lots of other little offshoots and little adaptations and additions to the whole folkloric mythology of King Arthur. But this one, Sir Gawain and the Green Knight, has always endured as being one of the most favourite because it's got this sinister black magic sort of quest going on with it, and it's a wonderful, wonderful story. It's been adapted for stage many times. It's been rewritten. J.R.R. Tolkien, when he was much younger, translated that original poem and wrote his own version of it. And it's been filmed in the early 70s. Stephen Weeks from I, Monster fame. In fact, this was his second movie. And Murray Head played Sir Gawain. And the appropriately named Nigel Green from Zulu, got a Sergeant Vaughan, Centuries have come in, sir. They report Zulus to the southeast. Thousands of them. And he was also, Hercules in Jason the Argonauts. A great actor. Sadly, he died of a horrible miscalculation of sleeping tablets just after making that earlier movie, the Stephen Weeks version, which is just called Sir Gawain and the Green Knight. And he never went back to do the ADR, the additional looping of his voice. So he's actually voiced by someone else. And Nigel Green has such a great commanding voice. And it's a wonderful movie. It's threadbare in some cases. You're hearing its soundtrack there by the great Ron Goodwin of 633 Squadron and Where Eagle's There. It's a nice stirring sort of soundtrack as well. And a lot of old medieval instruments, mandolin, oboe are used in it as well. So it has an air of authenticity to it. Why am I talking about all this? Well, because there is a new film. What's his name? Oh, David Lowery, who did the new version of Pete's Dragon, which was another great big green bloody thing. And what else did he do before that? A Ghost Story, which is great actually. I'm prompted after doing this video to go and revisit A Ghost Story and maybe do a video on it, because it's a great contemplative, meditative movie. It's not a horror story at all, despite its title. It's about a ghost, but yeah, it's a ghost story. And it's about being lost in time and limbo and coming to understand your place in the whole theme of existence, and about grief, loss and remembrance. It's a wonderful treatise on a very strange topic, and it's not everyone's cup of tea. Now, David Lowery was brought into this project, this brand new movie called The Green Knight, and it is by all accounts, lavish, spectacular, spellbinding, visually sumptuous, very slow, languid, meditative take
on this classic, most classic of the Arthurian stories. And it came out this year, and if you're in America, you may well have seen it. I haven't seen it. I can't really comment. But what I can comment on is the fact that A24, the film company that made this, pulled it from the UK because of COVID worries. The cinemas are open down the road from me, that way, and in Liverpool, which is that way. No, it isn't. It's actually that way. I'm getting lost in my own reverie here, my own mystical realm, the Kilted Mansion. Cinemas are open. What you worry? A24 have said, no, we pulled it because of COVID concerns. It's getting out of control in the UK. It isn't. It is not getting out of control in the UK. What fucking news are you listening to? Get your act together. Our cinemas are open and people are going back to cinema. You're not even going to put it on Netflix, or at least there's no date set for Netflix. So even though I think Germany got it first and then America's got it, and there's a German Blu-ray due out in December, but there's no date set for the UK at all. It got pulled. We had all your other movies and they went down well. Critical, success was lauded upon all your previous movies, and then you go and pull this movie, the one. I am taking it personally. The one fucking film I wanted to see most of all this year. No, hang on a minute. No, that would be Halloween Kills. No, hang on a minute. That would be No Time to Die. Well, they're still coming out. You can hear the rain. The rain's beginning again. It's monsoon season in the Kilted realm. They're still coming out. They've got their release dates. Yes, they were delayed from like last year, but everything was delayed from last year. But they're still going ahead. Why have you pulled The Green Knight from our schedule? Although the two films, Halloween Kills and No Time to Die, I'm really looking forward to, and you know I'm going to give them so much coverage. I really wanted to big up this movie. In a way, I'm bigging it up right now because I am desperate to see it. I'd probably be to revisit the original Nigel Green version for Stephen Weeks, which is a great version. It is a bit hackneyed in some cases, and they threw in a lot more action scenes than, because the poem has no action in it really. I'll come on to all that, but I just want to know why, A24 have got this sort of bigoted, prejudiced opinion. Oh, we're going to pull it from the UK. Like, do we not matter? I'm afraid we do. We speak very highly in the figures of box office, and your films have gone down exceptionally well here. So you're doing yourself a massive disservice. Now, if you want to just send me a copy, I mean, as if you're listening to this, A24, listen to Kilt-Man. I want to see The Green Knight. Why are you stopping me from seeing it? In the country of its birth, for God's sake. Well, have I got to go on a quest, some mystical quest myself, crossing boundaries and other territories? I've got to slog, because the Knights of the Round Table would not get a plane. They'd have to fashion some kind of canoe and paddle across the Atlantic. Or just go to Europe, maybe, first of all. Try and catch it in some provincial German or French cinema. I don't know. Why are you making me wait? Why are you making them? There's a lot of people I know want to see this movie. And the thing is, people have been getting on to me. Oh, have you seen it? But they're people from other countries. And I'm going, no, because we haven't got it. Damn it! Dev Patel playing Sir Gawain. Sir Gawain, in the original poem and the original story, Arthurian stories, he is a good, proper Knight of the Round Table. But he's also King Arthur's nephew. And he's the one that leaps up. When the Green Knight, it's New Year's Eve, and the Green Knight, all the Knights of the Round Table are having a big celebration, big revelry and merriment. Of course, they've earned it after all their questing. And the Green Knight comes in, and he is a sinister figure, and he demands, right, it's my challenge for you. With this axe, and it's this mighty battle axe. With this axe, I want one of you, the bravest amongst you, to take his blow against my neck. And then, after that, a year and a day hence, you must come and find me, and I'll return that blow. So what happens is, of course, King Arthur in the original story, original poem, I'll do it. Yeah, I'll do it. Like, but no, his nephew, Sir Gawain, steps up and goes, no, no, uncle, no, I'll do it. Come on, you. Bend over. Show me your neck. Takes the axe. Oh, chops the head off, which is the opening of this new movie, of course. Of course it is. Takes the head off. Uh-oh. Because the Green Knight, with flowing red hair, Nigel Green sported a very supernatural, shimmering green attire, but with lots of flowing red hair. His headless body reaches out, picks up the head, and swings it round towards Guinevere, Queen Guinevere. But he talks to Gawain, and he's saying, right, a year and a day from now, you come and find me in my home, the Green Chapel. Find me, and let's see out the next part of this deal, this pact that we've got. So, Sir Gawain does go off after this guy. Now, in the poem, the original poem, it's alluded to that he has many adventures on the way in that year and a day. He has many adventures. He meets lots of vagabonds and robbers and creatures and witches and demons and all sorts of things. But that's never been shown, and the original author never expounded on those adventures. And then Rosemary Sutcliff, the great Rosemary Sutcliff, who wrote many medieval stories around the Arthurian legends and also ancient Rome and all the Celts and all that. She's a fabulous authoress who wrote, a lot of people say for children, she wrote The Eagle of the Ninth, about the genuine lost legion of the Ninth that rode way beyond Hadrian's Wall and were never seen again. Don't sally forth into Scotland, without an invitation. Anyway, and that's the stuff of folk and myth lore. Folk and myth lore. Myth and folklore. Christ, what's in this stuff? There he is. Old Kentucky Fudge, Not so much the Green Knight, more the green shite. Your good health, sir. How dark's it suddenly gone? Wow. Hold on a minute. Let there be light. Whoa. Let's bring that down a bit. Sudden light beam up there. But so yes, many adventures. He meets another girl in this version, the Stephen Weeks adaptation. He meets another fair maiden, and they have an adventure together. But then he will finally encounter the Green Knight. The Green Knight in this version leaves kind of green breadcrumbs for him, so he can always find where he's heading the right way. And he will meet him, and he will first stop off at this manor house, this huge sort of Gothic edifice. He'll be invited in there. Yeah, it's just a few days before the deadline, and the lord of the manor just says, "You stay here. Don't worry. Be my guest." And by the way, the Green Chapel is just 2 miles down the path there, so you're right next to it. So don't worry. You're not gonna miss your appointment. So he said, "But just while we're here, I will go out and I will hunt and I will bring you something each day. If you can give me something in return." It's always about this sort of thing. There's always pacts in these stories. So Gawain says, yeah, of course, yeah, no worries. I'll do whatever I can. So this lord goes out, comes back with like a boar over his shoulder, slams it down. Now, what have you got for me? Well, what's happened in the meantime? The lord's lady, has tried to tempt Sir Gawain, but he's, no, I ain't doing this. I'm not falling for this. No, he's looking after me. I'm a knight. I've got my honour, my nobility, my chivalry to protect. But she goes, okay, we'll just take a kiss then. Just gives him a kiss. So when this boar gets slapped down, he goes, well, what have you got for me? So, I know, but it was a different age then. Gawain gives the Lord of the Manor a little peck on the cheek, just this. That's all I got today for you. So the next day, the same thing happens. He goes up, and like in between time, the lady comes to tempt Sir Gawain again, but it's just 2 kisses this time. So he manages to, dissuade her from going any further. So this guy comes back, and I don't know what he's got this time. He's got like, I don't know, 12 dozen geese. I don't know. Slaps them down. What he got for me? Nothing but 2 kisses, my lord. They're very thespians, like, mwah, mwah, love you, darling. And of course, then you got the 3rd day. So what happens? The woman comes to tempt him again. But no, he will not do it. He will not do it. She goes, well, okay, look, it's 3 kisses for you, but I'm also going to give you this. Gives him a sash, and she says, this will protect you from pain, So he succumbs to that, because he's kind of like, oh, okay, hang on a minute. I'm going to face the Green Knight, so I'll take that. Ties it down his waist and all that, so I'll just, but I'll keep that quiet. So when, the Lord returns, and he's got like, I don't know, 10 werewolves to be baked, he slaps them down on the table, like, what do you got for me? I've just got 3 kisses, mwah, mwah, and a big one on the lips, mwah, here you go. And the Lord's like, okay, thank you, that's great. But enjoy your last night of my hospitality, because tomorrow you go off and meet the Green Knight. Which of course he does. He goes off and meets the Green Knight. And there he is, just as the Lord said, just 2 miles down the path from his big mansion. And the Green Knight just says, like, okay, right, you've come, thank you, that's great. Right, bend over. Here's my big axe. I'm going to use my big chopper on you now. So Gawain says, do it, smite me now. I'm not afraid. So the Green Knight hoists the axe aloft, brings it down, but misses him, hits the ground. Gawain's like, what are you doing? He said, like, just, I'll try again, eh? Right. Brings it down again. Oh, I've missed again. Oh, what's wrong with me? And Gawain's like shitting himself, but he's getting angry. Look, this was not part of the deal. I had 1 axe blow against you, but you're taking more than that. You're breaking the deal. Don't worry, good Sir Knight. I'll get it right this time. I hiccuped in the middle of that. Imagine that delivery. Such a great moment. And then he said he's seen in a movie, like, don't worry. I'll get it right this time. Cut! Again! So, what comes up this time? And this time he hits him, but he just nicks Gawain's neck, whoosh, like that. And then it thunks into the ground. And Gawain's like, well, that's it. You've had your 3 blows. You take any more, and I will defend myself. The vow is over now. I will defend myself. Sorry, that's an invisible sword there I'm holding aloft. And but as he looks, the Green Knight's not the Green Knight anymore. The Green Knight stood against, the handle of his axe, just like, and he's laughing. And as he looks at him, he's the Lord of the Manor. And he's like, but I don't get it. What was? No, it was all a test. Well, why? What was the test? What's going on here? And the point of it is, like, well, in the original poem, the point of it is, in the Lord's mansion, there's an old crone, a hideous old crone, who demands respect from everyone, and Gawain can't figure it out. On what she is, she's actually Morgan le Fay, which of course is King Arthur's sister, and she hates him. They're mortal enemies. And what she's done, she's been playing games using her magic with the Lord, making him into the Green Knight. And the idea is, I want to just test my brother's brave knights to see how good they really are, how chivalrous they are, how honourable they are. And also, the whole point of holding the severed head in front of Guinevere was to hopefully scare Guinevere to death. That was the idea behind it. Very strange times. But that was the idea in the poem. That's the poem's version. In the movie version we've had before, Nigel Green's just goes like, yeah, look, basically, I wanted to just test. I've heard so many things about these good knights of the Round Table. I wanted to see how true it all was. And he's like, right, but what about, I know about my wife coming in there, the lady to tempt you. I knew about that. And the idea was, if you could hold out, that would be great. And the 3 kisses, the reason why I took 3 blows against you was because on the 3rd night, you took 3 kisses off her, and you gave me 3 kisses in return, but you hid the fact that you got the sash off her as well. You hid that. I understand why. You're a young man, and like, you know, your whole life's ahead of you. So, and you knew you were going into a horrible moment of mortal encounter. Can't call it combat because he was offering his head for execution, basically. So, like, you know, I don't blame you for doing that. So, I had 3 attempts to frighten you for the 3 kisses that you were honest about, but you've passed the test, and like, Gawain is just kind of, oh, what the fuck's this all about? I spent a year and a day coming after this. You're just taking the piss. How did you lose your head in the first place? And in Rosemary Sutcliff's version, and sorry, in the Sir Gawain and the Green Knight, Stephen Weeks adaptation, he's just like, no, there's more things than you know about, son. There's magic around these parts. You know, we Northerners, we've kept some of the old ways alive. But as I say, in the original poem, it's Morgan Le Fay who's using hair magic to bewitch the Lord, who's Lord. Oh, what's his name? Hold on a second, I'll get his name because he has a name. Bertilac. He's actually Sir Bertilac. He is a knight himself, just not of the Round Table. And so he's been testing all along. It's a test of nobility, chivalry, honour, and this kind of code that the knights live to. And Gawain has passed the test, but Gawain's still like, look, I almost gave in. I'm not worthy. And he said, no, you're more worthy to sit at that round table than many of the other knights there. You go back, but we're friends now. Come back and see me again sometime. You'd be like, fuck that. Or if I come back next time and your missus comes on to me, is that all right? So, and it's brilliant. I also love in Rosemary Sutcliff's version, and Rosemary Sutcliffe, this is the versions she wrote, no film versions of hers, and she studied history, studied the whole geographical makeup of Britain at the time, England, Great Britain, and have a guess where the Green Knight makes his home in the Green Chapel. Just have a little guess. It's right here. It's where I live, the Wirral. Most of Britain was a forest back in those days. It got relentlessly chopped to bits now. We've got very precious little greenery in the UK now, sadly. And but from Camelot, Gawain travels up, you know, the west coast, and he goes all the way through Wales, and he has many adventures in Wales. But he ends up on the Wirral, and he crosses over the River Dee, which is between North Wales and the Wirral, because the Wirral is a big peninsula, a big peninsula. It's like a great big hard-on which comes out, you know, of England itself and just stays erect at 90 degrees. No, 90 degrees is that, isn't it? 45 degrees. I don't know where I'm going either. It's half the fun though, isn't it? Sometimes my videos are a quest in and of themselves. I don't know where I'm going. Don't know how it's going to end up. Just going along with it. But the Wirral was a huge, vast forest, obviously. And in her descriptive prose, she describes him crossing the salt marshes of the Dee and getting onto the vast forest of the Wirral. And he never leaves the Wirral. He goes through all the tangled woods which try and snatch him from his horse, and then finally comes upon this manor house in a lush meadowland. Now, having just reread it, I thought, oh, does that mean he's gone across the Mersey as well, and now he's in Merseyside and maybe Lancashire, or maybe it's meant to be the lakes? No, he never leaves the Wirral. So in other words, right where I am, all the forests would be back, you know, from sort of crossing from North Wales and Cheshire. That would all be the forest there. So where I am, at the promontory, at the Jap's eye of the penis of the peninsula, that would be where the Green Knight lives. I just think that's great. But she studied history, she studied the geography, and the way that stories were told back in those days, and plotted where they were referring to, whether it was mythology or not. You know, a lot of these things, a lot of the Arthurian legends, everyone believes that King Arthur was a real person now. There's no doubt about that. He's not like the King Arthur you see in movies, you know, he's not like that. And he was several hundred years before, because he would be a Roman general who's been left over behind, stayed in Britain and fought off the Saxons and all that, and the barbarians coming across, and the Celts and all that, and became this figure, this warlord. But because of this nobility and a certain number of knights he had around him, who would, in our vernacular, would become knights. That's the basis of the story of King Arthur, and it's definitely true. And all the Celtic stuff and stuff from all across Northern Europe filtered into all of this. So in the Arthurian legends, you've got so many other facets of legendary. You've got the sword and the stone. You've got the Lady of the Lake. You've got the whole Christianity thing about going for the Holy Grail and the belief in the soul and the spirit and in God. Well, there's elements in all the old Druidic systems of belief. Lots of those elements crept into the Arthurian romances. So it's a huge stew of a lot of different cultures all wrapped up in one delicious, gorgeous, endless, banquet of just brutality and beauty. And I love it to bits. I genuinely do love this story, which is why I'm so annoyed that I can't get to see The Green Knight. And I so want to see it. And people are messaging me and texting me and saying, like, oh, I've just seen it. Oh, the visuals are great. Oh, but it's slow. Oh, there's loads of bits they should cut out. But it's a dreamy sort of movie. And I believe that, because I believe that this version does sort of slightly change the ending, but I don't know how, and I don't really want to know how until I see the movie. I can't think they're going to deviate too much. But knowing the style of A24 and oh god, I keep getting his name, David Lowery, because of A Ghost Story, I'm looking forward to its meditation on life, existence, and possibilities, and the whole nobility thing. I know that Dev Patel, who plays Gawain, in this version, he's not exactly a chivalrous knight. The first time you encounter him, right at the start, he's in a brothel. He's shagging around, like, that is not nobility. That is not, well, actually, most of the nobles in fucking Britain, throughout history, have indulged in debauchery. And long may it continue. Good lord. But so he's not the most worthy, which is why I believe at the start of this, when the Green Knight comes in, and the Green Knight is more like an old man of wood, literally the Green Man, like Treebeard here, and so he comes in and the head gets severed, and that's the only action scene in the movie apparently. The rest of it, given his odyssey and his journey across country and all his encounters with mystical giants and all sorts of things, a talking fox apparently, there's no more actual brutality and violence in it. So you're thinking, well, what's the point of it then? Where's the big, culmination of all this? I don't know, but I want to know. I want to see it. I want to find out for myself. And I'm just really, really, vexed that I can't. I'm taking it personally. So anyone's got a copy of it? Now, I know I've said before about the soundtrack to Halloween Kills being leaked, and I said that, and I've been offered it many times, many times since I made that video, in fact, and I still haven't listened to it properly, and I still don't believe the genuine things out there. No, I think it is. I think the version, the bits and snippets I've heard are not from the actual official one, but I'm still like, no, until that soundtrack, if the soundtrack comes out officially, I'll have it straight away, and if it comes out before the movie, which I think it will do, I'll have it, but only when it's official. But with this, the film is out, and it should have been out in the UK now. So no, if someone offers a copy of that to me, I'm having it. A24, it's your fault. It's your fault. You're breeding piracy now by withholding a film such as this. Now, I'm using this as one example. Other film distributors have done the same thing and withheld movies for whatever reason, and then it's just bled out into the black market. So that's what's going to happen. It'll be a black market Green Knight, the Black and Green Knight, and I'll pick it up. Which kind of reminds me, of going to Liverpool, and in certain pubs and clubs, you'd have the little Chinese girls that come in, and it's a horrible cottage industry. They're basically slaves, but they were video pirates as well, and they go around hawking big bags full of all the DVDs, all the latest movies, and they come in, and sometimes I'll be like, I'm not ashamed to admit that previously, I've fucking had. If the film's offered me, I'm having it. Christ, I'm not waiting. You know, if it comes out on the official Blu-ray or whatever, I'll have a copy of it right now. If I've seen the flicks and I loved it and I've already paid money towards it, I'll have that copy. I don't fucking care. So, and they come in and they go like, no ones. And you go like, oh, what's the copy like? What's the quality like? Oh, good. Like they knew. They didn't know a damn thing. To be honest, a lot of them were really good. But the horrible thing about it, you'd be sitting there in a pub, like, and you'd have company perhaps, and you'd be getting all the latest movies, like, oh, I don't want any Fast and Furious crap, none of that, like, and okay, I'll have a look at that, like, and then as you've got like maybe 3 lined up, and they were dead cheap as well. You got 3 lined up, then she'd move on to the hardcore porn. And she'd get them out, and you'd be like, no, I don't want anyone. She'd be like, no, this is pissy fisty, and you go like, no, I've got oh, hang on a minute. Oh, yeah, okay, maybe, what, 3 for the $5, yeah. So what I'm saying is, if someone offers me a copy of The Green Knight, I'm taking it. If it was on right now at the flicks, I'd have seen it by now, and I'd be sitting here reviewing the movie itself, which is what I want to be doing. So, you know, I'm just frustrated. But it does sound incredible. Visually sumptuous. Long, languid, dreamy, surreal. I love that kind of thing. And looking at a ghost story, then if that's the sort of thing, but with chivalry and knights and mythical creatures, and it's suspense to it, then I'm way in there. What's going on with this hair? Look at it. It's all over the show, isn't it? Anyway, folks, I have been and always shall be Kilt-Man, and I will remain frustrated until I can see The Green Knight and then go, oh God, it wasn't worth the wait. By all accounts, it is. Even people who don't like this sort of thing have been saying to me, like, you know what, I really enjoyed it. I don't understand it. I want to go and read the poem now and find out more. I don't think you will find out more. I think the film, if anything, is going to actually show more than what the poem reveals. But I don't think the poem's going to help you out as to how this film really pans out, because I believe the ending is a little bit left to your imagination, a little bit ambivalent. Anyway, there you go. The Whirl is a great big penis. Folks, I have been, always shall be Kilt-Man, and please be happy, be healthy. I'm going to see you all in a lot less than a year and a day from now. Laters.